Happy birthday. Happy Independence Day. What am I talking about? It's Pesach. It's not Yom Ha'atzmaut till after Pesach. But really, Pesach is Yom Ha'atzmaut. It is the festival of our independence. It's our birthday. It's when we were born. We all know the story of Yetziat Mitzrayim. We talk about it, we read about it, but scratch the surface, and underneath there is the symbolism of birth. Let's start at the beginning. We had 210 years of gestation. Imagine being pregnant for 210 years. We weren't allowed out. We couldn't go anywhere. We were trapped. And then, right at the end, when the time came, we had to leave immediately, straight away. At first, we was not safe to go out until the time came. And when the time came on the stroke of midnight, we burst through the doors into independence, into birth, into life. And look what we went through. We went through the door, which was surrounded by blood, blood on the lintel, blood on the doorpost, even blood on the hearth. This was the birth canal, the bloody birth canal through which we were born as a Jewish people. And the symbolism continues. A child, when he's first born, is helpless. He relies entirely on his parents and his older siblings. Moshe Rabbeinu, as it were, was our older brother. Kadosh Baruch Hu was our parents. We relied on them completely. A child, when he's first born, is not able to feed himself, has to be given food. We couldn't feed ourselves in the wilderness. We had to be given man. We couldn't get any water. We had to be given water. Everything had to be done for us, and everything was done for us by our parents. And we had to spend a time in the company of our parents and our older sibling growing up. And we did that. We had 40 years of growing up. And during that time, we behaved like children. We complained about everything. And then we behaved like teenagers. We rebelled against everything. Eventually, after 40 years, we had the maturity to start our life on our own and start to move away to some sort of independence. But you know, even when an adult is an adult, even when a child becomes an adult, he never really leaves his family. Even if we leave them physically, we never really leave them. We can't break away from our families. There's been stories about adults trying to divorce their parents when they become adults. You can't do that. There's a program on British TV at the moment called Long Lost Family, which my wife watches there with a box of tissues next to her because she's crying her eyes out because it's so sad. And what this program is, it traces families that have been broken up, either children who've been adopted or siblings who've been separated at birth or in early life, and they've lost contact with one another. And this family helps them contact them. There's something that drives these people to want to find their birth parents or their siblings from who they've been separated. And there are two things that are really interesting. One is that the person who's doing the seeking cannot stop. They spend their whole lives, in some cases, searching for their roots, searching for their heritage, searching for their parents and their siblings. And the other thing that's interesting is that the person that's being sought, who doesn't know he's being sought, who might not even know that he has a sibling, at first they say, oh, no, I'm not sure I want to get involved in all this. But they can't help themselves. And when they do, the emotion, the connection is electric. And the reason is that they have a shared heritage, they have shared DNA, they have shared history, they have a shared narrative. And that's what Leil HaSeder is all about. This is us reconnecting with all of our family. All of our family, our brothers and sisters across the world who are all doing exactly the same thing. We're going and we're connecting with our heritage, with our history, and with our parents and with our long lost siblings who are across the world. We might not even know of them. This is what it means to be a Jew on Leil HaSeder. These are the strong bonds that we have because we're all one family and we were all born on Leil HaSeder. And what we're doing on Leil HaSeder is we are looking at that heritage with new eyes every year, with fresh eyes. We're looking at our history and we're connecting with that history. And we're saying to ourselves and the next generation, you are part of something very special, that we were born at this time of the year, 3,300, whatever it is, years ago at Yetziat Mitzrayim, and we have a combined, joined history. We have a shared heritage throughout all these thousands of years. All the things that have happened to us as a people is all because we are a people together. So at Leil Seder, what we have to do is to reconnect with our brothers and sisters around, because this is our one family, and families can never split up. You cannot divorce your family. However much you might want to, you cannot do so. And therefore, tonight on Motzei Shabbat, when we sit down to Leil Seder, stop and think for a moment that all your brothers and sisters, about 15 million of them across the world, will be doing the same thing. And they are our shared heritage. They are our shared DNA, and they are part of our family. And the other part of our family that we must remember is to remember our parents and our grandparents. So we also have the next generations, children and grandchildren. And so it goes on and on and on. The chain of the people of Israel continues. So those memories that we have from our youth, from this Leil Seder of our youth, all the things that we remember about our parents and our grandparents, and the smells and the tastes and the things that we had on the Seder table, which belonged to the previous generations, that's what those memories are made of. We've got a responsibility now to make those memories for our children and our grandchildren, so that that shared heritage that they have, that we all have, they will take with them through to the next generation. And that's what we will be doing on Leil Seder. Let's all reconnect with our brothers and sisters across the world. Let's make memories for our children and grandchildren for the future, so that our family remains a family together. Chag Sameach, Kasher, Pesach, Kasher, Sameach.